Hello everyone and welcome back to Gabby's side here on YouTube. Today we're gonna look at the MC Command Center mod in more detail. Now I'm not really gonna go into much depth about how you install the mod and get it working in your game, but I will link a very useful video down below for you guys to watch for that. In today's video I just wanted to show you guys how you can use the mod. I don't think I'm an expert by any means, just keep in mind. So the first way that you can use it is by actually just pressing on your sim. Now when you press on your sim, you should get this option that comes up, MC Command Center. If you click on that, you will see the sim menu for that specific sim. Now you can use this on other sims as well. It doesn't even have to be a sim that's in your family currently. The first useful thing to note is that you can modify your household in CAS at any time. This also includes other sims. For example, let's take Becca Clark. We don't like how she's dressed for whatever reason, so we can also click MC Command Center on her. We can see information about her, like where she lives, if she has a spouse, and if she has any children, as well as her career. And then we can also modify her household in CAS. Really useful to know. Before you do modify a household in CAS, type into your cheats CAS.full edit mode. If you enter that and close it, and then you go into the MC Command Center again and press on Modify Household, you will actually get the CAS that you do when you make a sim for the first time, which means you can change their body shape, you can change their traits, you can change their voice, even their age, gender, anything. Okay, so you're probably wondering, what other options do we have with the MC Command Center? Because that's only getting started. MC cheats, very useful, very useful to remember and to know about. You can cheat sim info, so this is great if you are a storyteller in the sims, or if you just want to cheat. You can set their skills, mood and buffs, career, expansion, etc. Really useful for that. But also you can, complete their aspiration goals, you can increase their points, funds, and this is really helpful to know. You can also reset your sim. Let's say your sim gets stuck somewhere, they can't get out, the game has frozen for whatever reason. Click on reset sim and you can see he was now resetted and he's not doing his action anymore. So he's looking at us like, excuse me guys, I was having fun there, sorry. The MC pregnancy. Now this, you can start an alien pregnancy, or you can list the children that he has. So for example, for this guy here, Ezekiel, he only has one child who is Phoenix, so she comes up on here. For a woman, if you click on MC pregnancy, you can just see pregnancy start. She doesn't have any children, so the list of children doesn't come up as an option, nor does the alien. It's only a pregnancy start for her. And now the relationships at the very bottom of the list. Again, very helpful. It's basically, you can delete relationships, create new relationships. The easier way to do this though, if you do already know a sim that you want your sim to be friends with, is again, go to your relationships and just find someone. So let's say he is now acquaintances with Diamond. We press on her and we click MC Command Center. Then we go to relationships and then set active relationship levels. Set active friendly or set active romantic. So at the moment you don't have any romance, but you can of course create that as well. So if you set active friendly, here you've got the whole list. And acquaintances is where they are right now, so anything after that is of course positive, and this way is negative, of course. So let's say we want them to be friends. So yeah, you can see here now that they are indeed friends. You can also just forget the active sim, clear all relationships, etc. And she can actually alter her relationship with other NPCs in the world. So this is a list of like all the NPCs that I have in my current save file, and she can alter her relationship with any of them. So let's say, I don't know, we want this lady to be friends with, I don't know, with Trevor Kelsey, for example. You can set their friendly to true friends. There we go. And now she has a true friend. So it's really useful because you don't have to go into each household to alter their relationships, outfits, etc., skills even. You can just do it from the menu of the relationships. So that's mostly a little bit about your sim. Of course, you can sort of experiment and go into more detail when you are ready. I haven't gone into detail with all of them yet, but I just like to use the ones that, you know, are quite helpful for my own gameplay. Next step is MC Command Center in a different, more general way. When you use it in a general way, you have to access it from a computer, and then you see MC Command Center right here. Now this is for the whole sort of save file. In this case, when you click on CAS, for example, you can then define a template that all sims will abide to. I, again, have not really experimented with this because I'm a bit worried that everyone's gonna look the same, but I'm sure you can define different templates. The one that I do like to go on to is Offspring in this case, because here you can see that you can change the parental physical attributes. We can also use parent skin tones, which is the best thing. So once you go into this one, you can enable it. You can also bypass blue babies. Again, I get this all the time in my game. So if you do have that problem, make sure that you've enabled that one too. And you can just change the percent that the child, you know, will get, for example, the parent values and things like that. The career one, again, really quite a nice one, because you can change the ranges of, you know, teens in employment, adults in employment, and elders in employment. I usually leave this as it is, but let's say you are playing, I don't know, a very sort of special kind of save file where, I don't know, maybe it's the olden times and you want all your teens to be at work. You can change the teen employment range so that all teens have a part-time job. You can also change the career difficulty. This is also quite nice. I find that in The Sims 4, the career is actually, you know, quite easy, to be honest, but you can also then, you know, make it a little bit harder. So here you can see it's going to be slower or faster. So negative is slower progress, positive is faster, etc, etc. So you can just change that to your liking. And university difficulty adjustment as well, again, very useful because I know some people are complaining that it's a bit too easy for university as well. MC Cleaner, also quite a nice one. I use this every now and then because you want to clean cold sims, so you can bypass family ghosts, but usually you want to just get rid of, for example, ghosts that are just sticking around in your game. Again, this depends on what kind of player you are. I'm quite annoyed by them, so usually I would enable this one, just to make sure that, you know, in my game there's not too many ghosts everywhere. But you can bypass your family sims, so they're not going to be deleted if they are in your family tree. MC Occult as well, I don't really use a lot. I did have to use it in one of my gameplays because the abduction settings for aliens were really high. So you can see here you can even, for example, allow NPC abductions, which is pretty cool actually. So it can create a little bit more drama in your world. You can basically let the NPCs have the experiences that your sims might get as well. You can force an alien disguise, for example. So maybe you're doing a save file where aliens are trying to take over, but you want them all to be forced to wear the disguise because maybe they're illegal to live in that country or whatever. I don't know. You can go crazy with this. You can also change things for vampires in here, mermaids, and of course spellcasters. Again, I don't really mess with that too much, but I can totally see that this would be helpful if you really like to play the occult sims. The MC population, really useful one. I use this quite a lot. Move out elders and move single sims. So when a sim ages to an elder, move them out and into a retirement household. How cool is that? I love that. I love that. So you can move, for example, non-ancestral elders. If they're not in your active family, they're not connected to the sim that you're playing, for example, then they will not be moved out. Or you can just move all elders. Again, it's quite nice, you know, it gives a little bit of realism, like an old elderly relative moving out into a retirement home. Move single sims as well. And if you enable it, it will allow the single sims to move to random lots if you've enabled the random lot movement, which was the allow homeless move-in. So again, you can change that if you know, I don't know, looking for bachelors, then you might want to enable this. Move teens as dependents. So if you disable this, you can actually just move teens around freely. I quite like this. I like my teens to, you know, also, for example, get pregnant and things like that, that they can move, etc. So you can create, I don't know, more drama in the game. That's how I usually use it. Again, this is up to you, but it can be really, really fun for some players of that kind of gameplay. I really like this one too. So allow stray move-in. You can also allow stray pets to be adopted. If you visit Brindleton Bay and you have that expansion pack with cats and dogs, you will notice that there's a lot of stray pets. I usually don't even go there anymore. I just get them from the phone. So it's quite nice to see that other NPC characters can also get pets that are stray animals. And that's usually what I do with the moving settings. I don't really mess with the maximum wholeness or vampire homes or dorm residents, etc. Enable or disable bar nights. So some of you guys love the get together pack for the club, some of you hate it. If you're one of those who hates it and you hate going into, I don't know, a bar for a really romantic date, and then suddenly a bear night is happening and your sim gets frightened and tense and they can barely handle it, then you might want to click this and get rid of it, basically, because otherwise they will keep allowing these bar nights. Other settings as well, so bypass sim culling. So if you don't want some sims to be called, press on here. No Reaper stalking as well. This is interesting. Grim Reaper sometimes shows up in public places. I don't have this a lot in my game, but if you do, you want to enable this, because then he won't show up unless someone is actually dying. Randomize visiting sims. This is also really, really cool. Sometimes you get sims coming that are the same sims that you've seen 100 times and you're already friends with them and you just want them to go away and get new sims. Enable this. It will just randomize it completely and anyone from the world can come over to your house. And now on to a very, very interesting one, the MC pregnancy. I use this a lot as well, as you can imagine. Pregnant sim selection. There's a lot of things going on here, a lot of things. I usually don't even go into all of them, but what is important is the valid pregnancy ages. We can also make it teen, we could also make it elder, for example, so you can really change that up and have teen pregnancies, for example. Partner sim selection, affairs percentage. This is, again, great because it allows your married sims to be I just said it's great, like, yes, I allow this. I mean, for Sims drama, it's great. Of course, in real life, not, but you can change the percentage that married Sims will have an affair. You can limit it by relationship. So, for example, the Sims have to be woohoo partners to be pregnant, or they have to be significant others, or they have to be married only. Then let's go into the offspring in the MC pregnancy. Inherit trait type. This is the really, really cool one because they can inherit traits from their parents. Isn't that great? I love that. Other pregnancy. So this is just a few extra options for pregnancy. It's things in the game such as when your sim is pregnant, they don't age anymore magically until they've given birth to the baby. So with this option, allow pregnancy aging, you can actually enable it so that they do keep aging whilst they are pregnant. You can also, this one is interesting to me, for example, auto marriage percentage. Let's say two sims that, let's call them woohoo partners, and they have a baby, they are pregnant now, they are going to have a baby. They might actually have a chance of getting married because of the pregnancy, which is also great for gameplay. So again, you can maximize this to 100 if you wanted to. Use traits for pregnancy. Again, really, really great. So if there's applicable traits that your sim has, such as hates children or family oriented, then they maybe are more likely to have a pregnancy, or to try, for example, for a child if they have that traits. So again, you can make it as realistic as you would like. You can even increase the days they're pregnant, etc. Adoption settings, I usually leave this as it is. This is just about the sex percent, same sex, adoption ages, percent male, and to rename them. I usually leave it as it is, but of course you can change it up however you would want to. Marriage sim selection as well. This is very similar to the other ones that we've seen with the ages to bypass, etc. Marriage percentage though, for example, let's say that not enough of your adults are getting married in your game, you want to up that up, you can. Or let's say you want your young adults to marry more often, or let's say you want your teens to marry, you can change the percentage as well, but just make sure that you change the valid marriage ages, because the percentages won't work unless you actually activate that teens, etc., can actually get married. Other marriage down here is also quite cool. You can again use traits for marriage, so if you want more realistic gameplay, for example, maybe someone with a fear of commitment might not want to get married as quickly, or they might not marry at all in your game. Now the MC tuner, this one to me was quite interesting because I had no idea what it was until I looked into it. If you go inside, then you can see here change interaction behavior. This is really nice. I use quite a lot of these now that I found them. For example, friendly stay the night. So you know those situations where your family comes over and you can't even ask them to stay the night because you don't have a romantic interaction with them and you don't want to. So you want to enable this because then you can ask any of your friends, any of your family, etc. to just stay the night. Friendly ask if single. Again, a great interaction. It doesn't have to be in a romantic way, right? You can just ask if someone is single, and then that information will be shown to you on your relationships as normal, but you don't get that romantic interaction with the other person. Allow emotional depths. This is interesting. So for example, if a sim gets too playful, angry, embarrassed, they won't die anymore. I actually had this happen to me in one of my playthroughs, and it was really sad. But of course, this is usually in the game, it's enabled, but you can disable it. If you think it's a bit unrealistic, just disable it. Allow monster under the bed. Pretty self-explanatory. A lot of the kids in the game will be scared about this, so if you don't want to allow that, just click on here and you can change it. Teen move-in, again, really a great mod. Because in this one you can basically move in with ask a teen to move in with you. So usually you can't do that because they're too young. Allow multiple BFFs. I always use this too. This is great. So your sim can have multiple instead of just one best friend forever. Put away books fix, again, really great. When they're done with their homework or they're finished reading, they will just put it back where they got it from. Oh, isn't that a dream? Disable witness death. This is great. So if you enable this, then when someone dies, especially on a community lot, not everyone is going to run to the other side of the world to see it happen. They will still get the emotions from it, as it says here, but they just don't have to witness the death anymore to get these emotions and to be there. I actually had a situation once where I was in a community lot. It was freezing weather. It was like literally winter. Someone died outside. Everyone congregated around the person, and I'm not kidding, maybe 20 sims died that day congregating outside in the cold. So that's interaction behavior. If you go to interaction autonomy, autonomous proposal as well. So you can actually enable sims to autonomously propose to the other person. Now the chance of this occurring is not controlled by the mod, so you can't change that, but you can of course enable it at least so that sims, even in your own household, will just propose and they will get married. Let's say your sims just want to elope, they will do it. They don't have to wait for you. And now on to the next very interesting one, MC Woohoo. I use this quite a lot as well. This is actually linked a lot with pregnancy, so if you do change pregnancy interactions, make sure you check out the Woohoo one as well to change that up. Woohoo you have to install separately, I believe. So when you do install MC Command Center, make sure you get the Woohoo one as well if you would like these options. So Woohoo actions, again, you can change this up as much as you like. They're very self-explanatory, I think. Woohoo pregnancy. Now this is also just to create a little bit of drama in your game, to be honest. Risky Woohoo percent. You can increase the percent, or the chance, I guess, that the sim will become pregnant in normal Woohoo. So of course these things happen, so you can also make it a bit more realistic in the game that it could be an option. The others I leave them as they are. And then other settings, again, really great. Autonomous Woohoo, so they can autonomously woohoo, autonomously try for baby. Oh, right, now it's getting dramatic. The last thing I do want to show is if you have a mailbox in the sort of house lot that you're in, you can also click on MC cheats. Now this will just be about sort of the world that you're actually playing in. So it could be, for example, you want to hide households or humanize all aliens for whatever reason. Set all walk styles for the world. You can change it here. You can maybe even change all outfits if you want to. You can also delete sims from here. Change the world time in the game. Cheat the seasons. So for example, you want to change the weather. You're taking a great screenshot, it starts raining, change the weather. And Solani cheats as well, so it can be well dependent as well, depending on, of course, where you're playing. So those are just things to remember, that you can access MC Mod Command Center from various places, from your sim, from other sims, from the mailbox, and of course from the computer. That's the most important one. I will always recommend, before you start using MC Command Center, make sure that you make another save file of the one that you're using right now, or back it up, so that if you make changes and you're not happy with it, you can go back to your original save file and, you know, basically redo what you've done. This is really helpful, especially at the start. Also, as you guys saw here, when I was making some changes, it told me that a game restart is required. So just be aware that your game might not, you know, actually incorporate the changes that you make unless you restart it. You will get a notification. Another thing to note, of course, is that you need to keep in mind what version of the game, of the mod that you're using. If you're using an older mod, make sure that you keep updating it. This mod really controls a lot of the game, of course, so you want to make sure that it's updated regularly, especially after any patches that we have, any new packs that you buy or that come out, etc. Just be aware that you need to update it yourself. But yeah, I think that's all from me, guys. I'm sure there's a lot more things that I didn't even cover, maybe more options that I didn't even go into, or more ways to access it, etc. So if you have any tips, please leave them in the comments. Let's make a nice sort of community place to talk about these things and just share our experiences with the mod, because I'm still quite new to it, but I hope at least it's helped you a little bit, and you've gained a little bit more understanding of it. Just don't be scared of it, get into it, and it will be fine, I'm sure. So alright guys, take care of yourselves, and I will see you very soon with the next one. Bye bye.